Whether you're warming up for your next workout or stretching it out on a mat, you're in the right place. This is Giggles and Glutes, where fitness gets personal, powerful, and occasionally ridiculous, because why not?
I'm Donaé, your gym bestie who absolutely lives for structure, but at the same time, I don't mind the occasional cycle or boxing or maybe even dabble in an invite to an HYROX class.
And I'm Zoe, definitely a strength girl through and through, but give me the occasional yoga class or Pilates class or even a sweaty circuit and I am all in. We're both big fans of cross training, not just because it's fun, but because it helps our bodies and keeps our brains guessing, and why not?
Exactly. So today, if you haven't guessed by now, we are diving into different training styles that everybody is talking about. So we're going to dip our toe in some Pilates, some running, some weight training, paddle, and even HYROX as well. Because we are not here to pick sides.
Yeah, we're here to help you figure out your sweet spot, because fitness isn't just one size fits all, and what works for your bestie just might not work for you, or might not be your vibe, or might not meet your glute goals.
Okay, let's be real about Pilates just for a second. Nobody judge me, please. But there was a time where I thought that Pilates was just laying on the mat and like pretending to work out. I had absolutely no idea what exactly it was.
I hear that so often, but Pilates is super sneaky. It's all about control, precise movement, targeting the smaller, stabilizing muscles that weight training sometimes skips or is unable to really activate effectively.
Yeah. And it's also like deep tissue strengthening, actually, if you think about it. Like, you don't leave drenched in sweat, but the next day, your soreness in your core and your glutes really hit you so different, actually.
Yeah, and there's so much science that backs Pilates and how beneficial it is to you, because this improves your core stability, your pelvic alignment, your balance, and even your neuromuscular strength, which is crazy to think about. So many studies have shown that regular Pilates practice reduces lower back pain, improves flexibility, and even enhances your key posture for lifters like you and I, Donaé. And even when you're pregnant, Pilates. I did Pilates. I was so happy that I was in Cape Town in the beginning part of my pregnancy so that I could book some Pilates session with Anthea Bradley. If you're looking for Pilates classes in Cape Town, or if you're wanting a PT that also can help you in your Pilates, check her out. She helped me in the beginning of my pregnancy with my hip stabilizing, with my core stabilizing, and I never really had back pain throughout my pregnancy. But I also worked out, but I do know that the Pilates really helped me. So, yeah.
I also think that obviously fast forward a couple of years, I'm a lot more clued up about Pilates now and the benefits of it. I mean, I should be. It's a part of the job, you know. But I will say that if you are somebody who sits a lot and you actually, like Zoe said, you struggle with your hip mobility, or you want parts of your body to just connect better, then Pilates is really amazing, especially if you are trying to get that mind to muscle connection, because the movements are so slow and so controlled. You have to think about your mind to muscle connection. You know, you can't just move aimlessly.
Yeah. And it's great as a complementary type of training. I like to add Pilates sessions in between my actual workouts, especially during deload weeks. I think this is a deload week for us, Donaé, or recovery days. It helps reset my posture after squat days when you're lifting heavy, and just on that mind to muscle connection. So important. We should actually do a whole episode about it, because I sometimes try to explain that to people and then they look at me like, what voodoo is this? You know, like, whoa, what are you saying
What
to
do you
me?
mean?
That makes no sense. Yeah, they're like, what do you mean? Mind to muscle connection? So I think we will definitely do a separate episode on that.
We should. But getting back to the Pilates, as a side note, do not be fooled by the cute Pilates studio, by the Pilates and matcha, Pilates moms. Don't be fooled by it, because it really does require a specific type of strength that gets built over time. I don't know if you've seen those videos of these massive rugby players or the soccer players and very fit CrossFit athletes who actually go into the Pilates studio and they try reformer Pilates, because that's really hot right now. And they die like a million deaths. And it's also because of those tiny muscles that you are actually working that gets overlooked so much in a regular training plan. So if you are looking for variety and you need strength in tiny little areas, or just like extra balance in your body, then Pilates is definitely for you.
Yeah, because we do have two different types of muscle structures or muscle fibers, and those are fast and slow twitch muscle fibers, and they work and activate in different scenarios and under different pressures or tension. So that's why Pilates is a great alternative type of training if you want to do it on a deload day. And then, side note, did you see, talking about Pilates, I just remembered, did you see this girl on TikTok that went onto TikTok and she was ranting about if you're fat, you shouldn't be in Pilates, you should be in the gym, do like hectic stuff in the gym. And then the whole internet came at her for it. She lost her job at the Pilates studio that she was working at. So she was a teacher herself.
And she said this?
Yes.
Brave girl.
And it was so mean. Like, it's so mean. Just leave people.
Yes.
And as an instructor, if you can't work with people of all different strengths and capabilities, then I'm sorry, but your training has failed you. You should be able to modify exercises to meet your client's needs, not force your client to be on your level or where you think they need to be. That was just my opinion, but it's so funny that you didn't see. Now, let's talk about our true love, weight training.
Honestly, this makes my heart feel so warm and fuzzy, because lifting weights genuinely changed my life. It is so empowering and it makes me feel so strong. And honestly, it's gone beyond looking good and the aesthetics of it, to be honest. Genuinely is the love of my life.
Same girl, same. And weight training, or the benefits of weight training, is an increase in muscle mass, improvement in bone density. It supports your hormonal health and gives your metabolism a nice little kick, which is what we all want.
And if your goal is body composition, whether that is building curves, leaning out, or aging like a boss, which is the main thing should be, lifting has to be part of your plan. I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, for me, it's also the mental discipline that is required, like tracking your progress, working towards new personal best. It really teaches you patience and resilience. That consistency is powerful, you know?
100%. I also think that it's not flashy, but it works, because lifting weights is not like you're not going to walk into a studio that's pretty. Although you can walk into a very nice gym, but at the same time, you can go anywhere around the world and you can literally lift weights in someone's garage with dumbbells from the 90s. And you will still be able to get a good workout. You don't need fancy equipment, even though that's what we prefer in today's life, because we are spoiled in 2025 with all these pretty gadgets and techno gym constantly bringing us beautiful machinery. But at the end of the day, you don't need that. And also, from a personal point of view, weight training, like Zoe mentioned, is the mental resilience. Like, if you can go into the gym and strive and work towards a new PB, whatever you apply mentally in the gym to reach that goal with lifting that specific weight, you automatically carry on into other aspects of your life.
Yeah.
Like, whether you're going to try and do bungee jumping because your friends peer pressured you into doing this like scary activity, you're going to automatically tap into that side of your brain. For me, it's driving on a new road. Freaks me the hell out. But at the same time, I'm like, I can do this, you know? So Yeah, weight training has our heart for sure.
Okay, now let's lighten things up a little bit with some paddle, aka the extroverts of cardio.
I think that's actually the perfect way to sum paddle up, because that's exactly what it is. But honestly, paddle is really, really fun, and it doesn't sound like training, but you're sprinting, you're pivoting, you're swinging, and you 1000% burning calories. Did you ever try paddle?
I've played paddle once, but not when it was so popular the way it is now. And me and a tennis bat were terrible in high school when I played tennis. Hence me being good at hockey. I need ball to my feet, please. Not balls flying at my face. So I was not very good at playing paddle, but if you invite me for paddle, I'll come for the vibes.
I was just about to say,
And you?
I actually tried paddle a couple of times before. I would really like to commit to paddle because it's such a nice social activity, especially for both of us. I don't know if you have paddle courts around in Germany.
Actually, they could be, but no, I haven't, like, in Cape Town, when you're driving around, you see paddle courts, but I haven't driven around and seen one. Maybe if it's indoor, but I haven't seen it. But it can't be indoor because paddle is an outdoor sport mostly. But I haven't seen paddle court. Yeah.
But I think also it's a great way to meet people if you are in a new city. If you want to meet people and you're not the type of person to go out clubbing and chill at the bar like a creep, then maybe go and chill at the paddle courts like a creep. Join a couple of strangers to play some games. I should take this advice actually, because I should do that. But paddle, I never played tennis in my life, so I have no racket experience of any sort. But I was playing with people who were very patient. I think that's also important. You need to play with people who are patient.
Donaé, hold on. You did volleyball, yes or no?
Yes, I did.
So that changes things, because you used to a ball coming at you and timing it and hitting it. Do you understand?
Fine. Yes.
That is the thing. It's not about the hitting part. The hitting part is the easy part. It's the ball coming at me in my face.
It's not. Do you know, like, your shoulder?
Yes, I do.
Like when I was playing, I was like, ooh, that I went a bit too far there. You know what I mean? But I understand what you were saying. But anyway, I think that everybody should try it at least once, because it's so much fun. It really is.
Yeah. And it improves your agility, because you're constantly going from one side to the other. Not good if your knees are bad. Be aware. It improves your cardiovascular fitness, of course, because you're going up and down all the time. And the bonus is that you're so busy laughing or arguing over a point that you actually don't notice that you're doing interval training.
That's actually the truth. At the end of your workout, you'll probably look at your watch and go, whoa, is that how many calories I burned? So this is the perfect sport for the people who hate the gym but still love to move. It's social and it keeps the motivation really high, especially when you have good people with you. So
yeah, plus it's easy to learn. So if you're looking for something low pressure that still gets you sweating, paddle is definitely worth a try.
Okay, let's dip our toe finally into the running. So I honestly have such mixed feelings about running. I have great respect for people who run, to be honest. Like, there was a time last year I committed to a run once a week where we started with 5Ks. I actually did my first almost 10Ks. I did 9 point something Ks, and then my shin started acting up, and I was so proud of myself. And this is where I understood and I respected the people and why they run. Because I don't know if you've heard when people say the run is bug and it bites you.
Yeah.
Then it's like a vampire, there's no going back, you're in it. But there's this love-hate relationship that I have with it, although I do enjoy sprints.
Same. I'd always be like, no, I'm not running. Or at least in the past, I'd be like, no, I'm not running. And then I don't know what happened to me after my pregnancy. I think it was the feeling of not having power in my hips anymore, and then not being able to run at all, where before it was a decision. And in the new scenario, it was more like my body was not able to do it. And so that was a challenge for me in the beginning. I was like, I want to be able to run again, even if it was just like the 1 kilometer that I was doing, because I was doing at least a kilometer of running every day. That was my running. And then to train for getting stronger hips and stuff like this, I was like increasing some more running into my workout before or after my workouts. And then I eventually started running 2 kilometers, and I was like, okay. And then the one day I was like, let me just run for as long as I can and see how long I can go for without needing to stop in between. And then I ran for 3.5 kilometers. And the only reason why I stopped was because my legs were not okay anymore. And I could still feel that I was able to breathe properly still. I was like at an 8 on my effort level scale, but I was still feeling good, And then on the 26th of April, I will never forget this day, I ran 5 kilometers in 30 minutes. I was so proud of myself. I never trained for this running that I did or anything. I was only motivated by the fact that I entered a virtual race on the Adidas running app. And on the day, I was like, if I don't do it, no one's going to know. But then I was like, let me just do it and let me see how far I can get. And I did it. I did 5Ks in 30 minutes. It was insane. It absolutely changed me and my understanding and my respect for running. And then last week I ran another 5K. So now I want to try and make 5K my normal amount of running before I get 10K. So Donaé, respect, my friend, respect.
Definitely, 100%, lots and lots of respect. But the main
I'm talking about for you, for almost doing 10Ks.
Oh, thanks.
No.
Thank you. It does help.
You're just grouping yourself in there now.
It does help when you have, like, I couldn't run that by myself. Do you know what I mean? I had people with me because for the longest time, I grew up a sprinter. So I only ever conditioned my mind to running short distances. The longest distance I ever ran was a 400 meter. I never ran more than that. But I was a 100 meter, 200 meter sprinter, and that was it for like the whole of my childhood. So running a long distance, that never made sense to me until obviously I decided to crack that last year and actually try and run and see what it was like. But the main question that a lot of people ask is, what makes running powerful? Do you have any ideas on that?
Well, firstly, running improves your aerobic capacity, which helps your heart and your lungs work more efficiently. And that translates into better endurance, not just for cardio, but for lifting too. Because if your body can effectively convert oxygen to energy, and then your lifting becomes easier as well.
There's also a massive endorphin rush, which is called the runner's high. I'm pretty sure that many of you who are listening has heard this term before. And studies actually show that running reduces your symptoms of anxiety and depression. It boosts your mood and even improves your sleep as well. And that alone is amazing.
Not to mention it's convenient. You don't need equipment or anything. You just need a pair of shoes and a place to go to. If you're short on time or traveling, a quick 20-minute run can be your whole workout, and it would be more than enough.
And like you said, you can do it anyway. So I would definitely say that if your goal is fat loss, cardiovascular health, or just mental clarity, then running is a great option. It's something you should definitely consider adding into your life.
Yeah, but it's also important to pair it with strength training to avoid muscle loss, especially if you're running a lot. A lot of runners get caught in this thing of, I'm a runner, I run. Running is all that I do. They don't do anything else to support their body. When you are running, there's constant impact. Every time you're putting your foot down with so much force, and that reverberates throughout your body. When your skeletal structure is not strong and is constantly having to deal with impact, something's going to break down, right? So the reason why we strength train is to strengthen our ligaments, to strengthen our joints, to increase our bone density, etc. And yes, while you can achieve all of those things through running, it's not enough. So you have to include some strength workouts into your running programs as well.
100% agree on that. And even if you are a cyclist as well, I train my cycling coach and then he takes me out on the cycling track as well. And last week he was saying to me that actually he's so surprised because he's able to push on the wattage a lot more on the bike, which is great. And so this was just an example of how much the one can improve the other. And that's basically how movement works as a whole, is that you can't just be doing one thing. And even if you are, you don't need to do everything else in high, massive volumes. But including sprints, it doesn't have to be a long distance run. Including some resistance band work into your mobility routine. It doesn't have to be Pilates specifically, but just doing little bits of everything somehow, which I think all of us actually do, for those of us who are aware, to continue to do that, because it definitely will benefit you at the end of the day.
Yeah, because there is no superior form of training.
Louder for the people in the back.
There's no equipment or exercise or workout that is better than any other workout. And what I mean by that is that each thing serves its own purpose and each thing is equally beneficial. So don't shame firstly people into feeling like what you are doing is better than what they are doing, or make people feel that it's only this way or no other way. Everyone needs to find what they love doing, what works for them, and then within that thing, find other things that you can link together that makes that thing better. For example, some strength training on a Monday, Tuesday you do a Pilates, Wednesday you do a strength training, Thursday you do a yoga, then on Friday you do a functional, and Saturday you go for a cycle. That would be like, if you want to dabble in a few different things, that would be an ideal upload, download, a heavy load and a light load type of workout. What am I saying? That would be a great combination of exercises or workouts to mix together if you wanted to try a variety of exercises.
Are you still with us, Zoe?
I am.
Okay.
I'm pulling through.
Okay, good.
Okay. Now for HYROX, aka the challenge no one asked for, but now everyone's doing. And Donaé, I think she's going to be the one to try this out before the two of us, because every time I speak to her, she's mentioning, I'm thinking about, maybe someone invites me. It's becoming more of an idea, I see.
To be honest, the gym I go to, actually, they do a HYROX. I think every day they do a class. And they're always asking me, when am I going to join the class? But to be honest, I am so scared. I am genuinely so scared of doing a HYROX. And it's like the gym version of an obstacle course, man, from hell. Like, do you know what I mean? At the same time, in the best way possible. I can only imagine how good you feel. But I'm not prepared for the suffering, honestly. I think when I'm mentally ready, I will try it. I do want it though, you are right. I do want it.
It reminds me of Heat so much. If anyone living in Cape Town knows Heat, that Virgin Active offered at the Claremont branch. And it's just like 30 minutes of sufferation, basically.
Sufferation, word of the day.
So basically what HYROX is, it combines 1 kilometer runs with strength/endurance stations like sled pushes, rowing, wall balls, burpees, you get the deal. It tests your power, stamina, grit especially, and honestly your emotional stability and strength, because 15 minutes in you're going to be staring at your watch thinking, I'm halfway through, I can still leave.
It is an incredibly functional form of exercise, and you're basically training multiple energy systems at once. So it's anaerobic strength, and then it's also aerobic capacity as well. And I think it's a lot of stress for your body, actually, So yeah, I would not recommend this to a beginner. Definitely not. Like, I don't know if you ever had this with like somebody, especially when we were working at Constantia, this person would always come up to you, to start like a random conversation, one of the members, and they would be like, I really want to get a trainer, but I want to get fit first. And we would be like, this is the point of getting a trainer, is to help you. But my honey, finally, HYROX, you can actually say that. You can say, I really want to do HYROX, but I want to get fit first. This is the only time you can say that.
And that hybrid model, it's great for people with performance goals, hence why it's not for beginners or people who love competition. You train to move more efficiently and more powerfully.
Yeah, exactly. So we cannot stress this enough. If you are a beginner who has been hooked on someone's TikTok who's doing HYROX, please, honey, get into the gym first, because it demands serious prep. And if you are not conditioned, it can really break you mentally and physically as well. This could possibly be the thing. I don't want to scare anybody.
That ends you.
I'm never going to a gym again. My fitness journey starts and ends in the year. Bye, rocks. Not HYROX. Bye.
Oh, and if you want a goal that pushes you and you're already training consistently, then HYROX is an amazing way to level up, for sure.
You have permission from Zoe and I, only then, okay? Do you hear us?
So, with all of these styles out there, the real question is, what is your goal?
Exactly, and that should reflect what you actually want. Ask yourself, what is my goal? What do I want? Whether you are wanting to build strength, improve your cardio, leaning out, or just moving to feel good, then that's what you do.
Yeah. If you're wanting to look good and you're basically just doing this for strength and aesthetics, then obviously weight training is king. If it's about mobility and posture and you want to increase the way you're sitting or increase the way you are walking or improve the way you are walking, then obviously it would be things like Pilates and yoga. And if it's endurance and mental clarity, it would be going for a run or paddle because it's social and fun. See what I did there?
Yes, Slim Shady.
And if it's hybrid performance and you're wanting a challenge, then obviously HYROX is the thing that you are going to want to do.
And if you are anything like Zoe and I, and you literally just love the rhythm of a routine, you can still get all of your results by doing the basics, but just doing them very well. You could leave room to explore, and you can sprinkle in variety and keep your core goals in sight.
So the key is to be intentional with what you are doing. Don't do something just because it's trending. Do it because it makes sense and it supports your goals and makes you feel good ultimately. To wrap things up for today, whether you're lifting, lunging or losing at paddle, movement should fit your life, your body and your goal.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If this episode helped you make peace with your own style or inspire you to try something new, hit subscribe and leave us a review in the comments below.
And please tag us in your workouts. We love seeing what the Giggles and Glutes fam is up to.
Thank you. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.